I hope they will have the decency to clear my name with the same publicity with which they now have besmirched it.
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
Never forget the elephant in the room. It's actually such a big elephant that I don't think people can even breathe in that room. It's such a huge elephant. It's the number one preventable cause of death in Australia. So when you are taking a precautionary approach, when you're like, no, we just don't know enough, I just tell them, shut up, because that just, I don't know, is killing people right now.
There's a tremendous push to bring about prohibition, to actually prohibit vaping. Whereas the evidence strongly suggests that actually, up to now, the most successful way of people stopping smoking cigarettes is vaping.
When vaping increases, smoking decreases.
That's right.
When vaping is restricted, smoking increases.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they haven't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science. What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that?
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Hey, so if you're really paying attention, especially if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you might not have noticed, but something really just happened cosmetically on the Smoke Free Radio Facebook page, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I'm really excited about the new look of the Facebook page. So anyway, how the hell is everyone doing this lovely Friday night? So yeah, we've had some fun this week. I've been picking on Australian public health people on Twitter, and I've been talking to other people, and Kevin let the cat out of the bag. I was talking to a senator earlier today, talking about an appearance on the show in the future. So that was kind of exciting. So, buckle up, because we're going to have some fun tonight. No, it's not a new camera. But anyway, Kevin is eagerly chomping at the bit to come and say hello to you. And hopefully when he comes in, he'll remember to unmute his microphone. It's not muted now, Kevin. I'm just fucking with you.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
Look at you. Did you get your head shaved because of our guest tonight?
My ears lowered in out of respect. Yes. You got many things to talk about.
You really should have had it waxed though, because the stubble is the stubble's distracting. Stubble's distracting. But Kevin, did you see the cosmetic change?
I did.
Did you see the new looky look of the Facebook thing? The thing on Facebook?
I did. And I think I really actually recognized that beginning piece of that clip.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
So I don't think you do, but I'm going to wait till our special guest comes on, and then you guys can both say what you think it was. I don't even think our special guest even noticed it, because he looked dumbfounded. I'm looking in the green room, and the lovely wife also was standing on screen, but she ran away. I don't think she wants to. I don't know why. She's so lovely and wonderful. But so what's been going on this week with you, Kev?
I heard California. Yeah, California's going for a vote now over the flavor ban.
Yeah, the flavor ban looks like it's going up as a voter referendum.
I got Montana with Ron Marshall introducing something that'll be a lawsuit, or instead of a lawsuit, rather, change the way nicotine and flavored nicotine products are viewed. And disappointingly, Jerry finally blocked me. So I'm
that
a little down.
It really surprises me because you were retweeting my tweets, and I was
I was like, talking with him.
You were on your own too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But quite a few of my very rude tweets you were retweeting, and I'm just wondering why. Yeah. If he was on a blocking binge, or we're going to talk about that because there's no news. There's no news update on the lovely Dr. Mario Glover's Twitter suspension. Even though she was on our show, we've been I think I've been very, very vocal on Twitter about the situation. But we'll show those tweets later. We'll get into that. But so our guest tonight is he's been on the show multiple times. He's a very good friend of the show, and he's from Florida, and it looks like things are ramping up in Florida, and he's got some stuff to talk about. And obviously we're going to make a formal announcement of the wonderfulness. But we'll do that. So let's bring on the original grumpy old. That's the Nick father. So let's bring on Nick. Now Nick is muted, so he has to unmute himself. There.
I didn't know. I thought you wanted me muted, man.
No. When you're backstage, you're already muted.
Oh, okay.
We're not married.
Right.
When I send you into your corner, you're already muted. I can't hear you. I can see you though. I can see you. So don't be doing any hanky panky in the backstage area. But
and check.
Well, I did see Dolores when we were playing the intro video.
Yeah.
And she was standing behind you behind your right hand corner shoulder there, looking at the intro music. But hey, did you recognize the quote at the beginning?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Now, Kevin, did you think that you recognized?
I thought it was Corleone from The Godfather.
It is. It is Michael Corleone from The Godfather.
So you can officially kiss my ass.
I say the reason why Dolores was here is because my headphones went out. I went to headphones and I started my phone and it jumped on that and it went back to the. So I apologize.
So here. I'm just gonna throw up the first 10 seconds of the intro video so that you can. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
I hope they will have the decency to clear my name with the same publicity with which they now have besmirched it.
So, I mean,
Pacino.
It's Pacino, but what he said there was very apropos to our current situation, because these assholes are going to have to eat crow when we've won. And he says, I hope that this committee, or that these, that you will clear my name with as much, I'm paraphrasing, with as much energy as you've besmirched it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I hope that one day that they will have to go up there and say, you know what? We were wrong. But what they're going to do is they're going to say, you know what? We knew it the whole time, but we just wanted to wait for the evidence to come to. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, and we're taxing it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Pact Act. It's already bad enough.
Pact law.
I have no, I am not going to lie to you. I have not spent 5 minutes looking at this Pact Act stuff. But the paperwork necessary to register for taxes and to do all that stuff, and it just seems like they're trying to, it's like a death by paperwork is what it sounds like to me.
And where's the enforcement on the back end?
Oh, there's never any fucking enforcement. Do you think?
No.
I mean, literally, how many kids are still buying cigarettes?
About 5%, right?
I mean, literally, what is the size of the black market for combustible cigarettes in just New York City?
It's got to be unmeasurable.
It's over $1 billion.
It has to be. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine to try to get even a number.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, enforcement is just never. It's never. I mean, realistically, they may, and you know, we've seen. Obviously, I know 3 people that got FDA letters last week. I personally know 3 people that got letters last week from the FDA. It sucks. It saddens me. You know, we've been sort of kind of, well, they're not really enforcing, so let's just test the waters. We're gonna see how far we can go. And I don't remember. I think it was less than 10 warning letters went out, and I know 3 of the people that got warning letters. One of them has actually been on the show twice. So yeah, it does suck. It does suck. And then obviously we've seen seizures. Puff bars got seized at customs, like $1 million worth of puff bars. So yeah, it's happening. It's happening. But you know, before we get all crazy and talk about a whole bunch of really important stuff, I want, like, we're Kevin, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So everybody kind of knows, you know, because we said Kevin needed a new microphone, and if we got a sponsor, Kevin would get a new microphone. Kevin got a new microphone last week. So everybody knows that Kevin got a new microphone. So that means we got a sponsor.
Hey, I got a new microphone.
We got 2 sponsors, actually. 2 sponsors. So
got 2 new sponsors?
2 new sponsors. So some schmuck that owns a company called the Vapors Depot, and another schmuck, or the same schmuck, or a different schmuck, that has a company called VOM Enterprises, was good enough to pony the money necessary to keep the hosting services up. So guess what? Kevin and I will be here for at least 12 more months.
Yes.
Great news.
And that also means that Vaping in the Mic, when he decides to do a show, and the Monday 20 will still also be here for another 12 months.
Monday 20?
Well, it's actually like the Monday 40 sometimes, and sometimes it's like the Monday 90, but you get the idea. Yes. So
you should name it at the end from now on.
The Vapors Depot, and VOM Enterprises have ponied up and made it possible for Kevin and I, a bunch of chuckleheads, or well, actually just 2 chuckleheads, to be able to have fun every Friday night. I invite each and every one of you, not right now because we're live, but I invite each and every one of you to go to the Facebook page that you're currently on. But I'm gonna rub it. I'm gonna rub it here real quick so that I can show the beautifulness of our new graphic that some awesome person designed for us.
Graphic guru.
So that is the new Smoke Free Radio banner. I think it looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself.
I do.
It looks marvelous.
That is what we are. That is our new thing. So thank you, Nick, and the other guy, whoever VOM is. I think that's you also. I think Nick and Nick for keeping the doors open for Smoke Free Radio for another year. You know, it sucks. I know that
it's great that you guys are on for another year. That's all I can say.
I know that you know, right now times are tough. I know that the money needs to go to the state groups, to your state group, and all the other shit that's going on. And I really hate it. I'm a horrible salesperson. I don't sell shit. I'm horrible at it. I kind of I let the product speak for itself. And regardless of my own ego and Kevin's ego, I think that we put on I don't want to sound too much like a big-headed son of a bitch, but I think we put on the best vaping advocacy show, vaping information show that's out. I don't think anybody competes. I mean, if you just look at who we've had on this show in the last 6 months, we've brought in scientists, we've brought in public health people, we've brought in political analyst people, we've brought in
filmmakers,
filmmaker, movers and shakers. Our next guest is a senator from Australia, but it's still a senator. And then the show after that, we're bringing in a doctor of public health from Quebec, Canada, who is a harm reduction advocate. He's going to come on and he's been fairly vocally. I mean, his deal is drug policy and other things, but he's also aware that tobacco harm reduction and his harm reduction, the needle exchanges and safe injection sites and other forms of harm reduction, go hand in hand. So we're gonna have that guy on. So we've got amazing guests lined up, and then there might be a big surprise in 3 weeks. So I'm just glad, and Kevin and I, we get to come on and have fun, talk to really amazing people, and just be two chuckleheads. And we get to do this every Friday night and talk to all of our friends. I mean, far be it from me to continue yapping here without at least acknowledging the people. So before we go any further, let's say thanks to Rob Ramdisk and RMBKII and Victor Altek and Tom Morowitz and Victor Altek and James Jarvis. I need to make James cry before the night's over. And, the wonderful and amazing Kevin Crowley's even in here. Yeah. And Mark Schliss is in here. And Yolan's in here. And Daniel Smith is here. All these people.
Hamish
is not here that I can see.
He's in here.
Oh, there he is. At the very bottom. And Peggy at eSig Source is here as well in the YouTube room. So, sweet. I can't say it enough that I'm very glad that Nick, because I said something during the show and Nick's like, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to ask anybody else. So, yeah, thanks, Nick, and the wonderful and amazing Dolores. Yes. Oh, and I forgot Jay McGuire. Jay McGuire's in the chat room as well.
Yep.
So you guys make it easy, right? I mean, it's definitely a value add for the show. There's no doubt that everybody in advocacy and every consumer that uses our product and just people on the sidelines get something from this. It's important for us to have it. It's important for us to have these tools when we're talking to legislators. And every show has tools we can use. So that is why it takes a show like this that must continue based on your guests and you and Kevin and the amazing job you guys do. We couldn't be happier. I'm so glad you gave us the opportunity, and thank you. Thank you for what you've done, and thank you for what you'll be doing.
Well, we got a year. So Kevin and I, we're gonna have to buckle down and turn it up another couple notches. We're gonna have to turn it up a couple notches. Sadly, the last, I don't know, maybe, well, since I'll tell you, since Basardo's birthday, if everybody, I mean, you were there, Nick, you were there. That was the last night I broadcasted live, or I broadcast drunk.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. That was the last night that I broadcast drunk, and everything has gone up. Everything has gone up since then. So, I'm not going to say I haven't had a drink on the air, but that was the last night that I got drunk, and that was a bad night.
Well, he's got another birthday coming up.
I know. That was right after I broke my leg.
Right, I remember that.
I'm still waiting on the surgery, but I did get my second injection today or Tuesday. So now I have no excuse to not go into the hospital and get it done.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, Jay McGuire's talking about that there's new bills here in Texas that have been filed. So, we're going to have to go through and do a legislative roundup at some point here and start scrounging around and taking notes and putting out calls to action and things like that, and bringing the information to the viewers. I know that there's stuff going on in Florida because you've been really, really talking shit up there on the Facebook. So what's going on in Florida?
So Patrick, really sessions gearing up, right? And we're starting to ramp up a little bit, mostly because we're not going to be able to go visit like we used to and give public testimony in these committee hearings. It may be limited and it may be just Zoom. And I have a feeling, based on our past experience, that they might limit it and maybe exclude some of us that have important sides of the story. So we've been doing it through social media and sending out the messaging, because we've now, since SB 810, which we were successful in, and thank you for all of your help in that, and everybody else who's watching, in that veto. But they're coming after us, and we're waiting to see. The first committee week is over. We've got 3 more committee weeks, and now they start the back-to-back committee weeks. So we're trying to get out in front of it, and we're trying to make sure that the messaging is there. We're here. They see videos. We have Zoom calls. We're always available. I had a conversation with the Speaker of the House today for about an hour. He was nice enough to accept a phone call and an invitation to have that phone call. And we started laying the groundwork just with the Speaker. Now, other legislators, we've got our lobbyists working, and we are going out and meeting local lawmakers. We're just getting very active, because this isn't going to be something where we're going to have a whole lot of physical call to action going into these sessions. Our session starts in March 2nd to be exact. We need to be prepared, lay the groundwork, and let them know we're going to combat everything at the gate that has to do with bad bills. We'll accept the T21 that's already federal, but that's as far as it goes. There will be no, we're going to combat everything at the gate. Our goal is to fight everything that comes up to the gate. And then our goal later is to potentially go further than that based on what rolls out from our session and our committees. But for now, we have nothing filed, but we have to treat it like there is, because of our lack of being able to get out in front in their office and meet the new freshmen and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of the phrases that I've always said. Yeah, one of the phrases that I've always used over the years, and there's video of me saying it multiple times on all the way back to the Vaping Militia days on Vapors TV, is the best time to defeat a bill is before it's ever written. And the only way to do that is to interface and to, meet and converse and, have a conversation. And, that's one of the things that I think, and I know that you guys have been busting your nuts. I'm not saying that you guys have failed at this, but I really feel like we've been told that this is a red versus blue thing or an R versus D thing for so long that we've not on a broad scale, that we've not actively engaged in conversation with the D's until it's danger zone time. And we're going to have to learn how to work with those people, with the Democrats. I'm unaffiliated, but you get the idea.
You have to work both sides.
We have to, and we have to. I mean, obviously, we've talked about this many times. You have to tailor your pitch for the audience that you're pitching to. So, yeah, but I think that we've been in such an adversarial role that a lot of people, and I've seen it in social media this week. Like Demetrius posted something on Facebook about the election or about something. It was about Jerry getting fired is what it was. It was about Jerry getting fired. And immediately in the comments, the bros were in there. You can't possibly think that it's going to be any better when Biden is in there. He's going to crush us and kill us and blah, blah. And it was just like, dudes, we have to forget everything that we've learned, everything that we've done, and we've got to go from a new angle. If you really care about this industry, if you really care about saving smokers, you're going to have to be willing to do things that you didn't want to do and that you've never thought about doing. And if that means going in and having a harm reduction discussion with Democrats and talking about how what we do is no different than, methadone, there are parallels between treatments, different treatment protocols, and what we do. We're substituting a much safer drug or a much safer substance for a much more harmful substance or drug. That's exactly what methadone is. It's exactly what methadone is. So we have to learn that we have allies in that world, in the harm reduction world. And that's one of the reasons why I was so excited to get Dr. Mark Tyndall on in 2 weeks, because that's his world. We need to get guys like Ethan Nadelman and drug policy people to stand in line with us when we do these things, because those guys already have clout because they've been fighting their fight for decades. And they also understand the language of harm reduction, and they've accepted tobacco harm reduction as well.
Yep. And you hit the nail on the head. It doesn't matter what letters after their name, they still need to hear the truth, period. Mm-hmm. The more opportunities we have to get the truth out, no matter who it is listening. I do it on the street. I don't, just people, at a restaurant in the smoking area. I'm talking to people. I don't ask them, what's your party affiliation? I don't care. The bottom line is we need to get active. We need to start communicating the truth, telling people what our stories are, and sharing the technology. I mean, we have to talk about it. Otherwise, we're going to be just kind of ignoring half of the country or half the world, and we can't afford to do that. It needs to be a whole different approach. Where we were 3-5 years ago in this industry, and we've got the other side that's just going nuts. What?
Yeah,
what happened?
You froze for about 10 seconds there.
Oh, okay. As long as my mouth wasn't open and I wasn't looking crazy, I'm good.
It was like
but
this. No.
The other side's going crazy, right? So we have to get active, man. They're amping it up. I mean, I can tell you, you guys saw in Florida, everything was fine till the last hearing in our capital, and all of a sudden the wallets come out in the checkbooks and we got screwed. So
yeah,
the message is that you got to fight before session, during session, after session, and all this postseason, we haven't stopped. So that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, no, I sent you a tweet, I sent you a Facebook message the other day, and before I sent you the link, I said, "What the fuck, Jacksonville? What the fuck, Jacksonville?" So for the audience, I'm gonna slap this on screen. This is a website set up by the city of Jacksonville
and Daly's convenience stores.
This is a $200,000 deal. $100,000 was government money, and $100,000 was from private donors, right? So this is a campaign to stop kids from vaping, right?
Yep.
So it's pretty flashy looking. It's got their look at this shit right here. Look at this.
Uh-huh.
Do you see this? They stole my fucking design.
Did you get the cigar photo?
Literally, look at this. This is a brick wall with neon lights. This is my shit.
Jacksonvillians.
So yeah, how do you say? Is it Jacksonvillian? Jacksonvillians? Is that close enough? Or Jacksonian?
Jacksonvillian or jackass?
Jackson Villains. So yeah, they made this really
louder.
Is there sound?
No. Barely.
Oh. Okay. Well, it's playing from my damn headphones. So give me 1 second here. Technical problems on the first try.
And I will say this is really important to watch for everybody in the audience.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, this is crazy. Here, look at this.
This is epic. Jayla's late again. She forgot her presentation, and Mr. Travato is mad at her.
Poor Jayla. Girl's starting to slip. She doesn't know that the nicotine in vape juice is basically brain poison for teens. It causes memory loss, loss of self-control, moodiness, and anxiety. This could get ugly. Let's watch.
Go, you know the drill. To the office.
So my question is, are they promoting social media bullying in that video?
Yes. Absolutely.
Because I mean, that's what I got out of that, is that poor girl was getting bullied by her classmates, and the teacher was egging it on.
Stigma.
And the city of Jacksonville is promoting that behavior because they're othering. We've talked about how they like to draw the line between smokers and vapors and normal society. That person is subhuman because they use nicotine. And we definitely are not promoting youth nicotine usage. But that video, they should be ashamed of that video, because instead of, approaching that child with love and saying, look, this is not good for you, let me help you, they belittle her, they made fun of her, they separated themselves from her, they drew a line and said, you go there, we're going to stay here, you're not one of us anymore. That's what they've done.
All teen suicides and all the other bullshit that goes on in the world, this is not necessary.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned,
somebody
should be reporting that video for bullying on YouTube.
It's a hate video.
It is a hate-filled video where they are showing that it's okay to bully people that are different than you.
It's cute having music on there because that covers it up a little bit, right? So it's not funny.
I mean, it's not funny. I mean, obviously, nicotine is not a brain poison. It doesn't. I mean, obviously, if it was a brain poison, Kevin would be dead, because Kevin started smoking when he was like 4 years old or something.
9.
You notice that every time I reference that, it's a younger age.
It's younger, yeah. I'm going to be 4 months old.
That's because his memory's going from all the nicotine.
That's right. Brain fog. It's brain fog. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, Hamish is asking me to copy and paste the link from the YouTube video so that it can be reported. So I've showed you the link. I think that it needs to be reported because it's promoting teenage bullying in schools, and it doesn't.
What Nick just said earlier, he said it in a different way. They're grasping at straws. They've got nothing left. We have the truth on our side, being if you're a business, and there are links, there are studies, there are facts, there are the 3-year-old NASEM report has been out for 3 years today or yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to care about that. Nobody. They don't want to listen to it. It's not all perfect in there. They're saying it's generally okay or it's moderately okay. It's still saying it's moderately good. It's not moderately bad, So this is just another piece of information. That video itself is hate, and that's what they've gone to. They were brainworms a year ago, if you don't remember. So it's the same bullshit. It's the same exact story they keep running over and over and over again.
Is the rest of the country, maybe Kevin and Patrick can answer. Are you guys seeing a lot more commercials on TV where they say, "This is Kevin. He's been vaping. Text blah 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 to text Kevin to 84539 and get the rest of his story"?
No.
We're seeing that pretty heavy in Florida.
Wow.
So that must be a Florida thing. It must be a geotag thing.
Yep.
Is it coming on your cell phone?
No, television.
Oh,
commercial.
Yeah,
prime
no.
time. Okay.
No, I'm not seeing any of that stuff. You would, I mean, obviously,
some money.
You know what we talk about all the time is how stuff gets beta tested in different places.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's successful in Florida, they may be beta testing it for there to be used in other markets in the future. I mean, we see that all the time.
Yeah, they'll be pulling analytics off of the text threads and stuff. So
yeah,
should be interesting.
But I mean, this whole idea that the mayor of Jacksonville has well, I mean, it's $100,000 of taxpayer money that they spent on this, and obviously, again, we are not promoting any youth use of this product at all. But to blow $200,000 on something that it's just not. I mean, it's not going to work. It's most of these things, especially these buzzwordy things that they have on here. Oh, well, it's going to make your brain. If they hear that it's going to affect your brain, these kids are going to be more interested in it. They're going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to get a buzz off of it," or and it's all it's doing is actually promoting youth use. It's, if they just didn't talk about it, it would go away.
Yep. We gave them 22 reforms to go last year about youth access and vaping.
That didn't
They
work.
wanted nothing to do with it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, not even one or two. You know?
They don't want to appear. So here's the deal: the big tobacco dialogue, the big tobacco lie is floating around in the air that all vaping companies are in some way, shape, or form tied to big tobacco. The consensus in the general public is that has to be true. And the politicians don't want to be seen in public kowtowing to or negotiating with, because they're afraid that somebody's going to say, "Oh, well, whether it's a lie or not, whether, you worked with those tobacco people that are just trying to kill our kids." I mean, that is a stigma that is now in the zeitgeist. It's now floating around, and they don't want to appear. I mean, obviously, we saw a thing 2 weeks ago. The governor of Colorado negotiated with one tobacco company to price fix, to set a minimum price for cigarettes to crush the small independent cigarette manufacturers. Mm-hmm. And now it's all over it. It's there. It's floating around in the world that he negotiated with the tobacco companies to crush the smaller cigarette companies. We talked about this when you were a smoker, Nick. You smoked what?
Marlboro.
So
2 packs a day.
If you were poor, if you didn't have any cash, you had less cash, would you pick up Doral or one of the more bargainy brands?
Yeah. So
in Colorado, the governor set a minimum price that they negotiated with Altria, so that the cheaper cigarettes had to bump up their price. So if you've got Doral, which is fine, I smoked them. It didn't. If you've got Doral, that's normally cheaper than Marlboro, and then suddenly Doral is the same price as Marlboro, what's the point in getting the Doral?
Exactly.
So they
premium.
Yeah, it's like premium e-liquid, man.
There you go. You know, it's funny sitting back and I look at things kind of from a different angle. I look at the fight within the fight. It's kind of like watching a football game, but not watching the ball. You're watching all the stuff around it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fight within a fight. And if the fight wasn't here, think of the lobby teams, the marketing teams, and all the legislators. What would they have to bitch about? What would lobbyists have to fight about on top of, I mean, it's an extra added bonus for them to have something to fight for. The state orgs wouldn't have to fight for your money to pay the lobbyists to put money in their pocket to fight the bad tobacco stuff. Did I just blow your mind, or are you with me?
I'm following you. I'm there with you.
So to sit back and look at some of these states and the amount of money you're getting dumped in from both sides. You know, Florida last year was $2 million on their side. Vapors don't have that kind of money. We put in what we could, and then our voices fought. Now, if they really wanted to, they could just crush us, right? $2 million was nothing to them. It was a stroke of some ink on a piece of paper. If that fight was over, there would be no, we need a lobbyist, we need to fight this, we need to graft bills, we need to do marketing, we need to do this. And it's crazy to just see that kind of stuff go on. If we could all just make it reasonable regulation federally, preempt everything else, and just call it a day. But they won't do that. It's kind of it's really sad, but it's generating jobs and funding just from the fight that we have to deal with, and a bunch of damn aggravation and some lost hair. Right, Kevin?
Yep.
Yeah. So, did anyone tag Bruni?
I did.
Okay.
I only see one drop bear in the group. There's one drop bear there.
Oh no, there's a few. There's a few Kiwis and a few drop bears.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously, politics and political activities that's a whole cottage industry. I mean, there's.
Yes.
I mean, you have your lobbyists, you have the marketing people, you have social media engagement specialist people, you have all these different people that all got their hand out like this. We'll fight for you, but you gotta put something across my hand, and that's just how politics in the United States works. I've referred to this multiple times. Is when you walk into the state capitol, you immediately feel dirty from all the scum that's there, because in a perfect world you wouldn't have to do that, because the politicians would be out there for you, not for themselves, not for their bank accounts, not for their investments, for you. But this is not a perfect. This is not a perfect world. And they'll fight for you if you slide something across their hand.
And we got to put in the volunteer work behind it to support it. All the vapors and all the people who choose a less harmful lifestyle are the ones that have to fight for it.
So Nick, last year, almost a year ago now, we got into a Zoom room and we set it up for hours. I don't even remember how many hours it was. We did it twice. I remember that. We did it twice. And we got hundreds of people to come in and speak their mind about SB 810. If you had to do that with a marketing company or a social media engagement company, I mean, obviously that's all volunteer work. That was all us and you and the vapors all across the country standing up and fighting for Florida.
Yep.
Kevin was there. We had Bruni from Australia there. Paul was there.
Yep.
We had people all over the world participating in that virtual rally.
In the middle of a pandemic.
That's why we had to do it as a virtual rally. Yeah. But, that's value added right there. I mean, that would have been, if I didn't have the know-how, because now everybody knows how to use Zoom, but at the time, Zoom was brand new. And if Fig hadn't talked, or not Fig, Fig hadn't talked me into using Zoom and figuring out how to use it, but you would have had to hire an ad agency or social media people to do that.
And it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened because state orgs are broke. It just couldn't happen. I mean, every dime goes to lobbying, and let alone PR or any of that. But lobbying efforts barely, you can barely cover the bill to continue the fight. So it was great to have that, obviously, and the turnout was amazing, and everybody else can use it. But
how many times have you driven 4 or 6 or 7 hours or something back and forth?
Oh man,
just you and the wife back and forth.
It's been one sessions. There was one time we did 29 times. I mean, It was sick.
Yeah. I mean, the COVID thing, I mean, E-Valley at the end of last year, well, at the end of 19, was the first shot that we took square in the fucking chest. And that hurt the industry bad.
For no reason, yep.
And then what? A few months later, here comes COVID, and that was a shot to the head of vaping. I saw a stat the other day that said that 3,500 vape shops in the country closed last calendar year. So when we look at state orgs, I seen Demi posting, and he's even said it on the Smoker Show or on the DP Show, one of the shows, that every year Tennessee Smoke Free is fully funded, and they're building their war chest for the next year. Like, they have so much engagement in their state that they're always he never really has to ask for money, right? Or, he's always paying a year ahead. And then, he said the other day, nobody's got any fucking money.
Nobody's there to have the money.
The vape shops, either the vape shops don't have the money, or they're closed. Or they're getting close to being closed. I mean, the vape shops here in Corpus, I think, are all gone. Pretty sure they're all gone. So, smaller places like this. I mean, Corpus Christi is only it's not a small town. It's 300,000 people, but we had 3 vape shops, and as far as I know, they're all gone.
Wow.
Yeah. James says in chat that Ohio's
we're
lost
losing
about
our memberships half now. In Florida.
So I mean, I said it before at the beginning of the show. Money is tight for the entire industry. Plus, you have everybody looking at federal, and FDA dropped their fucking final guidance 4 weeks after the deadline for filing.
Yep.
It's 516 pages. I hit Demi up in private message, and I'm like, I'm not even fucking reading this. I'm waiting for you or Azim to tell me what it means. Because I'm not going to sit here and read 516 pages. It's just, I'm waiting for somebody with more credentials and better smarts to read that and explain to me what the difference, if there's anything in there that's going to kill us, or if there's anything in there that's going to make it easier. I doubt that second. I doubt that there's anything in there that's going to make it easier, but you never know. I haven't heard anything, so I'm expecting that it's not good.
No, it's never good coming from that side.
No, I mean, and obviously,
and of course, everybody's paying attention and wants to accommodate and abide by the rules. What we've done for so long. Again, the bad players are not going to abide by the rules. They're not going to enforce it, and they're just going to do what the hell they want. Go out and keep cash grabbing from our industry, and we're going to sit here and abide and lose even more money and spend more money trying to do the right thing that'll never be enforced. That's what sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, we're in a transition right now. not people have been nominated for offices. The new Surgeon General has been nominated. I mean, obviously he was the Surgeon General before, so I doubt that there's going to be any problem with him. I mean, obviously we've gone a few days without one and nothing bad has happened. Kevin?
48 hours, 50 odd hours, and nobody gives a shit. Not one person has said, Jesus Christ, we don't have a Surgeon General.
How are we going to survive without a Surgeon General? I mean, oh my God. There's no Surgeon General. What are we going to do?
Oh my God.
So I really don't know that, but obviously we've got a lot. We've got a lot of work to do, and I have absolutely no confidence in any of the national trade organizations anymore. Yeah. Love the people that I know that are in each of them. I have no confidence in them anymore. I haven't heard anything from VTA. I've heard almost nothing from SFATA other than, hey, we have 2 new board members. Sean Casey from Flavor Art and Taylor from the Nicotine. I can't remember her last name. Taylor she used to be North American Nicotine, but she's not anymore. Is the other new board member, but I haven't heard anything of any substance from them either. So yeah, I literally have no. I'm at the stage now where we got to fucking do it for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. State by state, baby.
Yeah, I mean the Taylor Cage. Thank you, Deems. Yeah. I don't have enmity to either one of them. Yeah. I know that VTA probably doesn't have any fucking money, and I doubt SFATA has any either, or much. But you know what? We've got to do what we've got to do. And if that means that regular Joe Blow vapors need to start making phone calls to their federal representatives, whether they're R or D, and say, I would like to have a discussion with your staff, because they're not gonna meet you. But you may be able to get them in the off session when there is an off session, because everybody's starting back up at the first of the next week, I think, federally. So they got a lot of shit to do. And they're not going to be in their local offices, but you may be able to get a conversation. You may be able to get a Zoom meeting with somebody on their staff to have a calm conversation about vaping and tobacco harm reduction. If you're in the industry, you can talk about industry stuff, but consumers, I'm way past saying, let's wait for somebody to tell us what to do. It's never going to hurt to have a discussion about your opinion and this product. And if that means sending an email,
get out and meet him, Patrick. Right? I mean,
I know all mine.
No, I know you. I get you do, but I'm saying everybody that believes in this product and uses the product should be out sharing their knowledge with the legislators, whether it's local or federal. Thankfully, we had one of our representatives move up to congressman, and he's fully supportive of our industry. He's made comments. I've had him on Zoom before in our FSFA Zooms, and he's up there now. So there's a voice we have. We've got to continue to cultivate that, but it cannot stop. It doesn't get any easier. And the fact is that we've got to do it every day. We've got to get out and meet these people and spend time with them. I mean, you don't have the money. We don't have the money Big Tobacco does.
Nope.
And speaking about the money, some of these big guys in our industry, our stakeholders that hold a little bit of stake in every state, need to step up and support the states. Otherwise,
what is it that Fig used to call them? The big dick manufacturers? Was that the phrase that he always used?
Yeah, he used that, but I'm not going to use big dick manufacturers. I'm just going to say the bigger guys, it's tax time. Look and see where you made your money. Start funding the states. Take a percentage based on what your sales were. Put that percentage, come up with it, put it into the states, and let's get the fight going. Otherwise, you're going to be out of business. You're not going to be feeding off another state when these states start dropping like hotcakes. You're going to be done.
Dominoes to set up here and knock them down. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at state by state, by state by state.
Yep.
And
slow death, man.
I don't know how Twittery you are. I don't know how active on Twitter you are. But one of the things that I've been doing, Kevin loves it when I do these, but Kevin even did one the other day. But I've been taking pictures of myself and making a post, and it's me drinking coffee from my Dunkin' Donuts can. It's my flavored coffee, and I say, hey, you can do tobacco harm reduction for adults while keeping vape products away from kids. Let's talk about solutions. And then I said, I have my flavored coffee and I'm ready for that tobacco harm reduction conversation. Where are my public health warriors? Before you kill a public health miracle for adults, let's talk about keeping adult products away from kids and saving adult smokers and vape responsibility. These little things, eventually I'm doing one of these every few days. Somebody's going to see it and go, okay, you know what? I'll have a talk with him.
Right.
And we'll talk. We'll either have a quiet meeting in Zoom somewhere and we'll talk about it, or we'll have him on the show and we'll talk about it. But we are going to have to figure out ways to engage with these. Obviously, Tahir Turk is not going to have a logical conversation on social media about vaping. So obviously I'm not going to try to start a normal conversation with him, but other people might be willing to have a conversation.
And we can never assume that they know exactly what our industry is and what our products are.
No.
That conversation today had no idea. And I said, what do you need from the 1.5 million vapors in Florida? The adults who choose a less harmful alternative. He goes, education.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
So now he's going to get education. That I can guarantee you. And his staffers will be getting a boatload of emails and all the tools that I have, THR 101, the RCP report, all the stuff from the Moffitt Cancer Center. They're going to be educated because that's what he said. He used that term, education. So I'm going to make sure that I follow up. But we cannot assume that, they think we're all bad people. No, they're reaching out and they need to hear from you so they can reach out. Be that conduit. It works.
Yeah. We've got to turn the heat up, but gently.
Yep.
I did one of those posts last week and somebody said, you're wasting your time, blah, blah, blah. And, we've been talking I was like, no, we've never sat down and had a calm, respectable conversation with a lot of these prohibitionists, with a lot of these people. We're always punching back.
Agitated. We're agitated.
We're always punching back. So now we've got to get to the point where we're like, you know what? Instead of offering the clenched fist, here's the open hand and let's have a talk.
Whack-a-mole gets pretty old, doesn't it?
I would even sit down, not that he's my representative, but I would sit down in front of, literally any of these people. Schuster, I'd sit down and have a conversation with him about tobacco harm reduction. I would want to bring a scientist with me. This is one of the things that we need to be more. I don't like that word, James Jarvis. He says time to get offensive, not defensive. No. We need to be proactive instead of reactive, because offensive is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. We don't want to be offensive. We want to be proactive. We want to be there before trouble starts. We don't want to be aggressive because we've been aggressive. That's all we've done is being ugly.
James wants to be on offense.
We can be, again, we can try to make passes, but we have to realize that we need to be there sitting at the table, having an adult
conversation without a
respectable conversation without raised voices and without trying to say, no, you're wrong. We need to do it more like, well, here's some science. Here's a scientist. I brought a scientist with me. Here's the scientist that's going to explain how this works. Here's 20,000 pages of research that we've collected off of different scientists for you. Here's 4 boxes of paper with all of the research, and I've went ahead and made a 2-pager with the conclusions to all of these studies, so that you can see that by and large the vast majority of science is in agreement with this scientist that I brought, because we've focused a lot. And Nick, you'll know that I know that's not what you meant, James. I'm trying to make him cry.
Stop banning him.
I can spout science all I want, Nick, but I'm not a scientist. And it has no fucking credibility. Hold that sign up. It has no fucking credibility coming from me. Yep. I proposed weeks ago when we had Dr. Charles Gardner on. We had Eliana Rubashkin on.
She did real science. Did you see it?
Did you see that she actually did? She did experiments right on the show. Like, she showed a nicotine molecule and how it breaks apart and metabolizes.
Much more value add guest than myself. Definitely.
Well, yeah,
you're pretty good looking though.
She was something else.
There was a check involved, so I was like, but I joked we should build an army of scientists that are willing to just come when we need them. And she's like, I'll help.
Yep.
Obviously travel's kind of difficult right now, but depending on time, I guarantee you that if we said, hey, can you get into this Zoom conversation and discuss the science of nicotine with this politician, she would do it.
And just for the record.
Well, I know she would do it because she said she would.
She said she would. Dr. Glover wasn't fond of this at first. She really wasn't fond of this.
You're blurry again, by the way.
Oh, well, then fine. See you.
This is after hours mic or camera.
I think he's got it on auto zoom, and every time he vapes, it goes into the camera.
There he is.
But yeah, we've got these people that are willing to come, or obviously right now nobody can travel. Dr. Glover can't travel.
Nope.
But I guarantee you, if I said Dr. Glover, there's a politician.
Well, that's part of your toolkit, right?
In Florida, that would like to talk to you about harm reduction. We could set up a Zoom conversation with, or Chauncey or hopefully Dr. Mark Tyndall, after we get him on the show, will be another tool in our toolbox, because that's what we need now.
Joel Nitskin come.
Joel Nitskin. Yeah.
We had him here.
Dr. David Abrams.
A very positive impact. It was great.
And
but you got to have those tools. I mean, because like you said, the credibility part is garbage when it comes from a vape shop owner. They're just like, you're looking to make a buck.
Yeah, no. And, obviously these guys are willing to they're on our side. And somehow, for some reason, over the last couple months, I've made connections with all of these people now. Even Clive Bates, poor guy, he lives all the way over there in Africa, and the time differences are crazy. We're going to have him on the show. I keep saying this. We're working on a time that Kevin and I can do a show during the day so that we can have Clive, because Clive says he's old and he wants to go to bed at a normal time.
I have stuff to yell at Clive about too. So.
Yes, we're eager to have these people on. Mark Sliss sent me a private message. He's like, you should get Sally Sattel on. I'm like, yes, I would love to have Sally Sattel on.
She should be the Surgeon General.
You want Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh, that bitch would never agree to be on the show after I called her
there you go, Mark.
Governor Caitlyn Jenner.
Sally Sattel, Dr. Sattel should be the Surgeon General. That's who should be nominated.
Well, man, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Okay. So I saw a Facebook thing, something about if you have a PMTA in, we're doing something.
Yeah, so Florida Smoke Free, we want to meet those responsible vendors and manufacturers that have filed PMTAs and maybe gotten a letter back and discuss with our members and the group that joins the call on the 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern, just to kind of share some of the things, what this PMTA is. So many shop owners and members of our organization and some others outside of our organization might not understand what it all means. We've heard the term, we've seen the things flying around, and we're hoping to get some responsible manufacturers on there to discuss exactly what it means to them, and also show our members that there are true responsible manufacturers out there that they might want to have a relationship with to go forward. So far, I think Hui is joining, John Glauser, Ray from Black Unicorn, and we're waiting on some more confirmations. But we're Daddy's Vapor is joining Ed, and there's quite a few people that have stepped up and said, you know what, I would like to have that forum. So we're offering them the forum, and we want to have some really good conversations, get some questions answered by these vendors that are responsible enough to do the PMTA and move forward as best they can.
Cool. I do know that a couple people have already received deficiency letters. I don't know what any of the text of the deficiency letters are saying, but that means that you have X number of days to provide a solution to the deficiency or at least a plan on how you're going to solve the deficiency in your application. I don't know I don't know any of the specifics at all.
Right.
But we knew, I got backlashed big time because I posted something about deficiency letters and people, James says it's supposed to be 180 days. That they were going to look at these PMTAs before they went into substantive, evidence, and if there was problems, they were going to tell you that, hey, there's a problem here. You need to fix this before we can move forward. And you have X number of days. If you don't provide a solution or a plan for a solution in that X number of days, your year is over.
Oof. See, so that's the kind of stuff that people need to hear. I don't know, not hopefully, I guess. If somebody did receive it, they come on the call and explain what that means.
Yes. I am not a compliance expert. I didn't go to college to be a compliance expert, and I am not an attorney. But that is my understanding is that if they sent you a deficiency letter and you did not meet the request of that letter, that your 1 year to your 1 year to remain on the market ends.
Right.
That's the way it was explained to me. That is my understanding of what the actual language of the deeming said and what the subsequent guidance said, unless something is new 516-page document changes that, which I don't know because it's fucking 516 pages and I got other shit to do. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that they didn't make it easier.
No.
In that 516 pages, they didn't say, oh, by the way, all you have to do is submit your PMTA in crayon and you're in. I don't believe that. So, yeah. The PDF link to that 516-page document lives on Twitter, so you can go find it and look at it if you want. I'm not doing it.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Get a big bottle. Get the big bottle.
I would wait for Azim or some other person with credentials to read that document and tell me what it means. Somebody that's actually
I need a translator.
Sure. If I was in the e-liquid business, I would be hiring somebody that is that has actually worked with FDA in the past and gotten some sort of that has some sort of relationship with FDA.
Hang on. Paul, are you referring to the Biden freeze on that? Continue, sir. You'll answer me.
I saw a tweet earlier that said that Biden had signed an executive order putting a hold on regulatory stuff.
Yeah.
Just because you read it on Twitter don't mean shit.
Okay.
You know,
Momentary.
Yeah, don't believe everything you read on fucking Twitter. Because I've seen tweets that Biden has signed this executive order and that executive order, and he's I think one of the things that I read was that he'd signed an executive order that declared all U.S. borders open, and that all people would be welcomed at. I would wait until you get something other than a tweet to confirm anything.
Yep.
That has occurred in this new administration.
Don't be part of the sheepness.
Yeah. I would go forward as if this was status quo. Like everything that that was already on the horizon is still on the fucking horizon, and don't take anything for granted. Keep your nose to the grindstone and keep doing what you're doing.
Hire a professional.
Something I learned as a consumer, right? Yes, exactly, Nick. Something I learned as a consumer was not to jump the gun so fast because you don't know. And if you don't know, try not to act like you do know until you know. that's on a consumer side, because we're consumers here, along with Mr. Orlando. He's correct. If you're not in an organization, whether it's a trade organization or a national, whatever it is, state, local, and you don't know the names of your local people first to get to your state people, you're, wait a minute, fucked. Really. Because they're probably going to tell you, if you got names in your hat to talk to, they're going to tell you what's coming up if you've built relationships. So yeah, on a consumer side, don't jump the gun. Sorry, Patrick.
No, I was actually over here on Twitter looking for something. Yeah, I would wait. I would just keep going. Like, the deadline is the day that it's supposed to be, and you have your plan and you're working towards your plan. Don't be distracted by shiny objects. We still have all of this fight to deal with. All the shit that we're doing, just because if there was a temporary hold on regulatory actions for X number of days, you still need to talk to your politicians. You still need to engage with those policymakers. We are still doing what we're doing. We're at the stage now where we cannot take a break. As far as I'm concerned, we just keep on keeping on.
Yep, it's not break time. That's a good way to say it. Can't breathe.
And if you're burned out, turn off the computer, walk away, come back in a week, you'll probably feel better. Something else will inspire you, and you get back to the grind. We lose a lot of people that way.
So. Gotta keep the fire burning, baby. Yep.
Yeah,
we burn out chasing down all the garbage that's out there, and then you're burnt out. You can't fight anymore. So then you're done.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to find that thing I was trying to find.
Are you on LinkedIn looking for a job for Jerry?
No, Jerry already has a job on the board of Pfizer.
That's what Demi said. What'd you do before? Well, I lied a lot. Oh, okay, you're hired. Did you know Scott?
I promoted policies that got the president to approve your emergency authorization for your Pfizer COVID vaccine that made you billions of dollars. You're hired. Yeah. That's actually the vaccine that I received. So I haven't grown like another limb. I didn't turn purple or.
Oh, yeah, you had to get that, didn't you?
I didn't have to.
Oh, you didn't?
My company did not force me to.
Oh, okay.
But I got it because everybody that I work with is somewhere between 70 and 103. And they were getting it. Yeah. And I felt like, well, when I got there, the day that it was scheduled to happen, the facility that I went to get it is one of our residential facilities. We have memory care, we have assisted living, and we have independent living. By the time I got there, the memory care unit and the assisted living had already gotten their first shots, but the independent living, all of the residents were sitting in the dining room waiting, and none of them were holding their volunteering to get it done. They all looked afraid. Yep. And it was because there was a lot of bullshit on social media and the TV about side effects and about people dying and yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. So I went in, saw the look of fear and apprehension on their face. And when I got there, the executive director said, well, are you ready? Because they're not getting up. They're not. And I was like, yeah, I'll get it. And I drug a chair and put it right in front of where they were sitting. The entire lunchroom of the facility, there was 70 people waiting to get their shot done. I said, give it to me here so that they can see it. Yeah. And they gave me the shot, and I sat there and I was like, okay, are you done? And they're like, yeah, we're done. I was like, see, I didn't scream. It didn't hurt. You know, there were actually people telling, because the Moderna, or not the Moderna, the Pfizer vaccine has to be shipped frozen. Right. Negative 80 degrees. Well, everybody had it in their head that they were injecting ice into your. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the things was, oh, well, it's going to hurt because it's frozen. And I'm like, no, they have to thaw it. They have to dilute it because it's sent in a concentrated form, and they have to cut it. So in every vial, there's so many actual injections because they have to dilute it. I said, and it's completely thawed out. It can survive at room temperature for up to like 6 hours or something like that. I said, it didn't feel any different than any flu shot. It felt just like a regular flu shot. I had a little bit of pain at the injection site. Like a bruise for 2 days, and then it's done. It's over, you know? But yeah, do
you have to go for a second round, Patrick?
That was my second round.
That was your second. Okay.
Yeah, I've had both.
Now, are you done?
Yeah.
2 rounds finished. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the time frame between the two?
14 days.
Okay.
Did your tail come back out?
No. I got an innie now though instead.
I'm just checking. It's distracting when it flips around on my screen.
Yeah. I know.
What's in that cup, Kevin?
Coffee.
Oh my God.
He's a teetotaler.
Coffee totaler. I got more.
There you go.
Wait, there's more.
I hate to be rude to get up, but when I get up, I turn my camera off. I turn off my mic. I go get more.
Yeah, we're still in the throes of this fucking pandemic, and our cases went down to there were 50 in the hospital, and 2 weeks later there's 170 people in the hospital, 58 in ICU. So, I don't care about the cases. Cases are meaningless. I look at the number of people in the hospital that got it. That's what I look at. The number of people that are in the ICU that got it. Right. Those are the numbers you need to look at. And yeah, we're still in the middle of it. Even though we have masks, and we have a vaccine because people aren't always following the rules.
Are your bars and restaurants open?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is Texas, baby. This is Texas. The mall's open. Everything's fucking open.
We're the same way. I just didn't know how.
Nah. No, I mean, everything here is open. I mean, I don't even think they're counting people like they used to, 50% capacity or whatever. I don't even think they're doing that anymore.
But tourism's coming back a little bit here. Just a little bit. Well, wait a minute. It's not tourists if they're moving here, right? They're moving here. Sorry.
Well, that's the problem here is we're getting a fucking lot of West Coasters moving into Texas.
You got an extra room.
I would really love.
We're getting all the New Yorkers.
I would really love to get a stimulus check because I saw all these people saying that if you get your stimulus check, you should go buy a gun. I don't know where I'll fucking put another one, but I should go get a new gun.
Yeah, but you can't ever have too many.
My wife will be like, "What the hell?"
It's an investment.
Another one?
Yeah, don't say that around Dolores. I hope she's not listening.
And you only paid $149?
No, I got this on. This was a really good deal, dear. This is the new Colt 911. I only paid $12 for it, and the bullets were free.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somebody sent me pictures the other day of their new pistol, and it was not a gun that I would have bought, but I said to her, I said, "Are you sure you want that one?" I said, "Go and tell the salesperson you want to see if they have a 911."
Mm-hmm.
And oh well, she's in the chat room. I said, "Go see if they got a 911." She's like, "I like this gun." I was like, "Go get a 911." I'm a fan of the gun that's been in action and been in active duty for over 50 years. That one's been over 65 years and still in production because it works. That's the one I want.
Yep. It's a good one. Got to have it in the collection.
That's the one I want. But I mean, I do have the Judge. If all comes, the worst comes to worst, I got 410 slugs or 45 longs, and I can use the Judge. My wife doesn't like that gun at all.
Yeah, it's scary looking.
It's big. It's a manly gun.
She probably can't hold the damn thing.
I wouldn't take her I wouldn't let her use it. I'll give her the little 380 or something to shoot,
Yep.
But Nick,
yes.
Nick, so what is Florida Smoke Free? What do you have need? What do you need?
Well, based on our conversation.
Other than money, what can we as the community do for Florida Smoke Free? What can our social media warriors do for Florida Smoke Free?
Just continue sharing the Florida Smoke Free messages that you guys see. And support Ron DeSantis because he's done such a great job for us here so far in our industry.
That fucking letter.
Thank you.
That letter on the veto for SB 810 was classic. If I could get like a real copy of that, not like a photocopy, but one with his real signature on it, I would frame it.
You would frame it.
Because it was perfect.
Well, you can definitely tell that we're doing our job when you see that letter. Based on the verbiage within it, you know that we're actively working every day out here, busting our ass, like you said. And we were heard, okay? And that's another key factor. Just doing the work is half of it. But if you're heard and the results are there, you definitely see it. And that is a tool for a lot of other states. And all these guys that responded to our calls to action and all the videos and Zooms are responsible for that. So you guys should take that tool that you helped create and utilize it as best you can. You can see how it's crafted. You know what happened there. But going forward, sharing what the messaging is for Florida Smoke Free, we are actively paying attention to what's going on with our lobby team That'll be Teams and our PR firm, so they know what the messaging should look like and how to tailor it. And when they send out a message from our page, that should be what's shared for Florida. And let's help get that word out, because we're preparing now as things roll through the session. Any session, we don't know what to expect. But if you're in Florida, get out and meet with your legislators. That's what we need from this community. Is it's not up to the consumer to foot the bill. And at this point in time, the way our landscape is, it's really hard for our stakeholders that have shops doing business and trying to keep the doors open to participate financially. But those that are making money on our industry at a higher level need to seriously consider the funds that they've made and make a contribution to the state organization that's keeping them going. Florida right now is right there with Texas, 1 and 2 all the time, back and forth. If you were to lose either one of those states, think about where your company would be immediately. We did a financial or an economic analysis, and Florida, $605 million comes through this state in vapor resources and revenue. Think of where you fall in that space, and seriously consider joining the team. We have a proven track record. I don't think that's a question. So a lot of times people will ask for money and promise you things. We have done the work up front. The promise has been there for years. It will continue to be there. And the money goes to the fight, period. I don't make a dime. I can tell you that. As an industry shop owner, I'm paying to the organization. I'm volunteering my time, and the money goes to a cause that helps that fight. So that's what we need. We need that message shared. I get phone calls from manufacturers, whether it's here or China or anywhere. And my first question is are you a member? If the answer is no, I only speak to members. Thank you. Have a good day. That's it. Cut and dry.
I saw that.
I don't know if anybody can make that stand. And what you saw was one conversation. That happens 5 to 6 times a day. I am just at that point where I'm tired of fighting for free. If you're not going to help me with the fight, that's it. I mean, I'm working 40 plus hours a week doing that, stepping away from my business where I could be like everybody else, just sitting there working the counter, making my own money. But no, I'm out fighting for the state and the shops within the state. And hopefully the rest of the country gets something out of that fight that they can use as a tool as well. That's the goal. We've all got to be in it together, and it has to start somewhere. Again, the proven track record's there. 34 bad bills have been taken care of here in Florida. That doesn't come by, Governor DeSantis doesn't wake up one day and just go, I'm going to veto the bill. No. And it's crazy. And I see JD in the thread. I hate asking for money, right? That's one thing I just can't stand. If you're not sharp enough to realize that it needs to be funded, the fight, then I don't want to beg you for money. The reality is it's there. You know what's going on. Don't pretend it's not here. Don't turn your head. Don't shy away. This is what's going on. We've been saying it for years, everywhere. But JD gets a message from a manufacturer that makes a good bit of money in our state, and it's housed in our state. And they say, why should I contribute to this? Because Governor DeSantis just vetoes the bill anyway. So why would I contribute to the cause and a lobbyist who does nothing? Do you not understand how this works? The bricks are laid. The campaign for SB 810 took an army and a ton of money, $300,000 plus all those pictures, all those videos, the Zoom snapshots, the people that throughout the country that pitched in to get it done. And you're going to tell us all it really took was Governor DeSantis to just wake up one day and go, I'll draft this beautiful letter. I'll go to Twitter and find their terminology, and I'll write this nice letter, and I'll just sign it and veto the bill because they want me to. They look like there's a big number. No, you got to show them the numbers. It damn sure wasn't the money, because we can't compete with big tobacco and the funding, but they can't compete with us with the voices either. They'll never get their group to be as loud as we are. If we can get the funding along with our voices, we win. They will never have the voices, ever have the voices. You guys know it, and everybody on the thread knows it. They will never have the voices that we have in our industry in the fight that we have, but they do have the money. We can compete with the money. It's game over, guys.
And something, Nick, that you said was the messaging that you're giving, like on Twitter. I was trolling something earlier this week, and the mind fog speak, if you will, is going around. So I was looking for something that Lung Association said. So my general search was a couple things with the Lung Association, and it was popping up the same thing I'm using as examples in Jacksonville, Dayton, Ohio, Ipswich, New York, wherever the fuck you're looking at. Every single satellite office of the Lung Association was saying the same exact thing across the fucking country. That kind of country. So
consistent messaging.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's important for a dumbass like me to pay attention when I am being a dumbass and I'm tweeting something you are doing, that I'm not going to be such a smart ass. I'm going to be a little more specific, a little more targeted, and a little smarter at my tweet than I would just fucking with Jerry. There's another drink for you. So that's important for the consumers to know, because some of them, and one of them does it to me all the time. Fuck all politicians. That's you don't need that. Stop it. So I muted him. I don't see him anymore, but he's a pain in the ass. I love the passion. I do, and I was that guy once too. But I've really calmed down, and a lot of people may not know that, but I'm pretty calm compared to what I was when I started in 2013. So 2013. But
it sucks. It does a lot more damage than it does good when we react like that. It gives them ammo, right? It gives them the tool that we want to use.
It turns them away, shuts them off. If I'd have said to Dr. Glover, "Yeah, kiss my ass," you know what the hell you're talking about, it wasn't me that did it, but she may have never. She got the right people. She got people like Alan Beard, Bruni, all these people that are unbelievably kind and direct, and she got it. I don't know where it exactly switched for her, but that's where it went to, and look at who she is today, and what a powerhouse of a person she is. So yeah.
Well, it just goes to show you work hard enough, it happens, right?
Yeah. I hope I don't embarrass you or any other.
It doesn't happen overnight. You can't just do that. And that's the other thing. We have to be careful of who our audience is. And right now, based on this SB 810 veto that we had, our audience grew from a legislative standpoint. They're paying attention to what we're doing and what we're saying, because they want to find that tool to use against us. So we have to be very cautious. And Patrick's showing the videos now. It's bringing back memories.
Yep.
It's only been a year.
Has it been a year already?
Since this thing started. I mean, it's pretty damn close to a year. This
what
tweet
a battle,
is
man.
Well, March 18th. So it's been 10 months. Yeah, I mean, so simple. I mean, literally, this was free. At the time I was broke. I had a broken leg. I couldn't work anyway. So
that's what he said.
Amanda said we have 0 left to lose.
So I mean, obviously, I know a good number of the people in this video, and I'll tell you, about half of them were consumers that were just passionate about vaping. And if you look at projects like this and Lindsay's Golden Oldies video tour or video things, these are tools that are free.
Yes, they are.
And all it would take, if Jay Taylor from Virginia called me and said, "Hey, could you guys, we've got a bill coming up, could you guys help me do something like this?" The answer will always be yes. Mm-hmm. If Matt from Maryland called me and said, hey, we're in trouble, we need something that you can do. I mean, I can't do everything, but the answer will always be yes. If Zach from Alabama said, hey, we got this thing, can you help me? The answer will be yes.
Tom just asked in the chat about a short paper. So I did something with James, I think a year and a half ago or so. I can't remember. And it took me a minute. I found it. I just sent it to him. I mean, it's there. You can change the names, at the top and the bottom or whatever, and move on. If we can do it, or you can do it, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we have so many friends in this industry or this community that are not even in the industry. We have friends that can do. If I can't do it, I probably know somebody that can do it. And if you're looking for research, hey, we can sit Kevin on the research. We have people that have skills, and the wonderful thing is it's not all the same. If everybody could do the same thing, we would be missing a lot of shit. But we have different skill sets and all we have to do, 99.9% of the time is say, hey, I need help. Mm-hmm. Hold your hand up. I need help.
Yep.
But the worst thing that's ever happened is when we've offered help and they'd be like, no, we got this. We don't need your help. And then 2 months down the road, the bad legislation passes and you're like, but I offered my help and you told me you got it and you didn't want my help.
What the hell happened? I was looking at butterflies and now what do you mean they banned it? What?
And remember, Florida owes you guys one.
Nah.
So Florida community will be there when anybody needs it too.
Yeah. I mean, we all stand together or we all fall together.
Yeah.
Because whether you want to think about it or not, if Montana and California fall again, because both of those places, I believe, had recent reversals or temporary stays of bad legislation, it's going to happen where you are. It may not happen today, may not happen tomorrow, but the day after that, they're coming. And if we don't engage now, if we don't get on the phone, we don't get on the emails, we don't get on the social medias and try to engage with these people in adult, respectable conversations, you can't fucking win if you don't try. There is no blue ribbon for participation. There is no there's no award for not showing up. This is do or die. And we've still got, Kevin, how many millions of smokers?
40.
It depends on who you ask. 38, 42, something like that, million.
Millions of potential customers, millions of potential lives that we can save.
Yeah.
Industry can look at that as money in the bank for tomorrow, but you got to fight today. Consumers can say, hey, I saved somebody's life today. Yep. If you protect this industry, if you do the right thing, if you go and do the work and have the conversations, you can save people's lives. That's all we're looking for.
Will, you're on Facebook? I can't see his comment yet.
And it's never too soon to start doing that, guys. It's not comfortable the first time. I get it. It's not something I was comfortable doing, and to this day, I still am not really comfortable because I know what I want to say, and I know what I have to say when I'm sitting there in front of a legislator. There's so many other things that I want to say versus what I do say. But you got to keep it in line. It's going to be uncomfortable the first few times, but always remember you're telling the truth. And that's a much easier story to tell than a lie that they have to create in their head. And that's what the other side has to do.
So, an old guest of the show, I don't want to say old guest because she's not old, but a guest of the show that has been on the show in the past has a website. It's vaepworld.com. This is for Will. If you go to that website, there's little graphical, shareable data points, factoids, whatever you want to call it. If you're looking for
right out of my head.
If you're looking for one like one sentence things that you can use and with links to the valuable information that the little factoid in cases, use that. These are tools that we have available to us because somebody did the work. Like she went and made all these things. She did the research. You know, so the vapeworld.com is phone friendly. Will, if you you know, you may not have the phone. Like this is my phone that my wife bought me. Look at this fucking thing. It opens up and there's a big giant fucking screen in there. It's like a tablet. Maybe this thing here, you can actually share big graphic. You could hold it up and say, look at this. You know, it's like a big screen fucking phone. But
presentation.
Yeah.
She's in Canada and it's got US stats as well.
It's got US and Canada. She's made 2 versions of almost everything. So, you know, and obviously if you value that information, not to schlep and not to like, there's a donate link. You can donate some money for the work that she's done. Because that's important. But yeah. So back to the Twitter thing, Kevin. We're done with Nick's hand job. Let's talk about the Twitter thing for a minute.
Hey, I was sleeping. What do you want?
Dr. Glover is still banned on Twitter.
Dr. Glover matters. Hashtag Dr. Glover matters.
So today, Edward Hubert shared something.
Give me my hand back, Nick.
Edward Hubert shared something on Twitter, and this is a story. This is a really sucky story. This kid got suckered into sending. I mean, it essentially it's child pornography, and it was all over Twitter. His family reported it. He reported it. Twitter refused to take it down because they said that it did not violate their policies. Naked pictures of children. This kid was like 14 years old. And they said it didn't violate their policies. Apparently there was I'm not going to go look for it, but apparently photographs of him and another teenager in some sort of sexually pose or whatever. Like he was blackmailed into making these pictures and then they wouldn't take them down. So, you know, I said, wait, Twitter refused to remove reported child pornography because it did not violate policies, but has banned Marwa Glover, a harm reduction scientist and Maori woman, without explanation. Huh? Where are your I mean, she is still banned and does not even know what tweet that she either liked or retweeted or what.
Yep.
They still haven't explained to her what she did to violate. All they did was send her a link to part of their terms of service. They didn't say which tweet it was that got her in trouble. It's just a vague, here's a ban, and we're not going to tell you why you're banned. This is ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, this has, other than the fact that it's a tobacco harm reduction person that has been banned. This is not about vaping. This is about being banned because you said something that somebody doesn't like, or that, I mean, you got to realize, and I had this argument with Fig a long time ago. I mean, obviously Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, those are all privately owned things. They're not public utilities. They're not government regulated. The government has nothing to do with this. This is a private company, and they totally have the right to ban you. It's their service. You are using it based on the terms of service that you didn't read and you clicked OK to. So, I mean, obviously we want everything to be fair, but life is not fair, apparently.
And it could have been something she was just tagged in for, we don't know.
It could have been a heart. It could have been a retweet. It could have been she was tagged in something, but they are under no obligation to tell you why they banned you.
They didn't tell me when they suspended me.
I've never been suspended. I've never been, not even on Facebook.
I think mine was temporary suspension, or maybe it was restriction at the time. It's been a while, but I've been shadow banned about 10 times at least.
Well, I don't know. I think YouTube has shadow banned me, or at least their algorithm hasn't promoted our show at all, because we got like 3 new followers today on the YouTube page because Sonia Marks posted on Twitter. I just finished watching Charles Gardner on this show, and I don't understand why he only has 86 followers. I think we're up to 89 followers now. Woo! So, I would appreciate everybody that's not already following us on YouTube just to go do it. I mean, I don't care how you absorb the content. Last week's show, we had over 4,000 views of last week's show. And that's combining all of the different programs that we're on. I'm not saying that nobody's absorbing the content, because even Twitter, we're getting like 600 or 700 views on Twitter, which I never would have believed that a 4-hour program. And I'm sure that they're only counting if you've watched like 30 seconds to 3 minutes, but that's still a lot of people clicking on the video on Twitter. So, I'm cool with that. But
so,
yeah,
Patrick, are you Son of Liberty on YouTube?
I am Son of Space Liberty, or Son of Liberty Space Radio.
It's probably good that everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I call it.
I think if you just do a search for hashtag Son of Liberty Radio on YouTube, you'll find it. I was actually going through here. My Twitter today has been so crazy. I'm actually looking for a tweet from yesterday. And I'm going through all of my fucking alerts because today has been quite active on the tweets. Oh, Kevin.
What?
Kevin resurrected a tweet from last April this week.
I did. Which one?
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah.
Just when you thought we had seen this guy enough, here he comes.
People die from panic and fear than die from the disease itself. People also do things like hoard. And I put out a tweet this weekend telling people in the general public that there is no advantage to you wearing or buying a mask. And as a matter of fact, it can be a disadvantage.
There's also these recommendations from the CDC about a face mask. I loved your tweet.
Oh, it's torture.
What do you think about face masks?
Well, it's important for folks
to know
that masks are not recommended for the general public. There are 2 things people should know. Number one, if you wear a face mask and you're not wearing it properly, you're going to be more likely to touch your face, and you can actually increase your risk of getting.
I got to pause that for a second because I want to go back to this mask picture. Now, does anybody other than me think that looks like Jen Farrell with a mask on her eyes?
No.
I mean, that looks like Jen. That to me looks like Jen Farrell. But anyway.
And you can actually increase your risk of getting a respiratory disease like coronavirus or flu. Masks do not work for the general public.
Oops.
If
No,
you
now,
wear a
Patrick-
mask, doesn't
I'm tired of looking at his stupid ass. Go back up. And
Well, you
I
brought
know,
it
it's
up.
like-
You resurrected almost a year old tweet.
But why did I do that? You didn't
Well,
explain.
because you said because of all this.
Why?
So
Why
because
did you do that?
David Forsyth responded to one of so look, Jerry's banned vaping it from Twitter. So Kevin is posting his badge of honor that he is banned by Jerry on Twitter. And I think a lot of vapors have missed the mark on this piece of shit.
Yeah, they have.
So okay, so let me just preface all of this by saying the only reason this asshat got the SG job is that he was the head of the Department of Health for the state of Indiana when Mike Pence was governor of Indiana. Now, about 7 or 8 years ago, there was a huge outbreak within the intravenous drug user community in the state of Indiana, the largest domestic HIV outbreak in the last 15 or 20 years.
Long past.
And one of the things that people were begging for was needle exchanges. Now, due to the fact that the governor, Mike Pence, was an ultra right-wing Republican, very, very, very religious, he refused to allow the Department of Health to consider it. And Jerome stood arm in arm with him and didn't try to push the matter. He publicly agreed with the governor that a needle exchange program wasn't needed, fought against the harm reduction advocates in the state of Indiana. And then we had all these people in Indiana contract HIV.
He did not stand up for the public he was serving, period.
Well, he was sucking Mike Pence's cock.
I heard something about a limo. Okay, that now I get it.
Okay, let's just be clear.
Sorry, Nick. I know. Nick's like, can you guys be professional for a minute?
No. The agreement was he paid the bill, and I still get to say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Well, that's right. It was over.
No, not that far. Come down just a little bit. No, it's too much. Forget it.
Now you know how I feel, don't you?
So anyway, so David Forsyth, who is a very active Twitter advocate, says his legacy will haunt him forever, and then he retweets one of Kevin's highlighted fucking pictures.
Wait a minute. Highlighted tweet that dickhead deleted. Go ahead.
Well, yes. So then I'm like, hey, you guys have missed the mark on this. He was an asshat before he was the Surgeon General, and he killed many people before he was the Surgeon General. So let's just keep that in mind. And then Kevin decides to resurrect a year-old video tweet that I created.
Because failure was the key.
But I told you weeks ago, when they made the announcement that Vivek Murthy was going to replace Jerome Adams, or that Vivek had been nominated to replace Jerome Adams, that we needed to fucking ignore Jerome Adams for the rest of his life.
No.
Kevin won't let it rest.
No.
Now he has to because Jerome blocked him. But he's pointless now.
It
is pointless.
Well, he's probably not jobless. He's just going to
go. No. He will eventually land at Pfizer or Moderna. Either one. So that seemed like a pointless thing. I'm gonna just have to do a search. I can't find the thing that I want to think. So, Nick is not part of the Twitter world, or is he, at least he doesn't play on here as much as Kevin and I do.
He's quieter and more targeted.
I laugh a lot.
That damn Kevin.
I say now.
Look at these two assholes.
How can this? I try to step outside.
Yep.
And say, what will the optics look like? So I gotta think about that just for a minute, and then I go, nah.
You let me do my
I've gotten phone calls before.
You know,
hey, take that down, take the video down, take the post down, please do this. Here's why. Da da da.
Right.
So
right. I've never got
a phone call. Banned.
Oh, he locked up.
He froze for a second there, but now he's moving. His eyes are blinking.
You got banned what?
I get smacked across the wrist once in a while.
Oh, okay,
I don't get banned. I just get the phone call. Hey, Nick, it's probably in our best interest that comes down.
In the past, people that have sponsored our network have received phone calls from the people that don't like us, saying, "How dare you sponsor those assholes?"
Well, that was you.
Here.
I wouldn't.
Nobody would ever do that.
No,
nobody would ever do that.
It happened.
Since I've been on the show,
I'm waiting.
It happened. So
those are one-on-one conversations. So I'm good with those. I love those.
Kevin found an acceptable smoking cessation program.
That's right. That's an old one too. Really, I've been doing that off and on for a while.
I want to see Nick do this.
I don't even know where I found it. Somebody else tweeted it probably.
So I actually tweeted that to Hear Turk that this was probably one of the approved methods that he would approve, since he's so anti-vaping, but he might approve this one because he does like to slap science and logic in the face on a daily basis on Twitter.
That's science. It's got a battery. It's got a sensor.
My post was just a wooden paddle to help stop youth vaping.
Amen. Parenting is an action verb. I swear.
You know, I did see a report this week that said that youth vaping had dropped at the beginning part of the pandemic.
Yes. Again.
Which, leads me to believe that maybe since the kids were locked up at home with their mom and dad, mom and dad were finally doing the job that they're supposed to do and keeping an eye on their kids. I could be crazy.
And they're complaining about it, saying, "Oh, school's open back up, please. I need my kids back in school."
So that tells me teachers are the gateway to vaping. Teaching and school is a gateway.
Better. I like that.
Look at that. Look at that bullshit.
Woo.
Patrick, are you tired?
No. So,
are you an hour behind me? You're an hour behind, aren't you?
I'm an hour behind you. There's this guy, Nick. You may not know him. He's a public health douchebag in Australia.
I know him,
and his name is Tahir Turk. Now,
I've seen him.
I'm going to go to Tahir Turk's profile because I want you to see something.
It's one of Paul's friends.
So this is Tahir Turk. Now, I mean, I don't want to brag about my number of followers, but I have almost 1,000 followers on Twitter. Kevin has like 8 million, but this guy has 170 followers. I want you to keep this in mind. Social media, he has 170 followers. So the other day,
he's a warrior.
The other day, he's a public health warrior. That's where I got that from. So the other day, I went to his LinkedIn profile, and I took a screenshot of his LinkedIn profile, So he has a career spanning 35 years experience in strategic behavior change communication, public health promotion, advocacy, social marketing, community social mobilization, and monitoring and evaluation, incorporating participatory approaches in around 40 country settings, consults to implementing agencies and international donors, including USAID, WHO, EU, DFAT, DFID, UNDP, UNICEF, Asian Development Bank, World Bank, and Bloomberg philanthropies.
Ding.
So this guy is a public health dude who specializes in social marketing, advocacy, promotion, and community social mobilization. And he has 170 followers on Twitter.
That's a shitty resume.
So
and I'm some chucklehead in Ohio, and I've got 13,000.
So I tweeted, I said, my guess is you don't show your students in public health promotion, advocacy, social marketing, because he's a university professor, how frequently a few vapors embarrass you on Twitter. You're the guy that doesn't know basic botany and said, he did say this on Twitter, that no other plant in nature has nicotine in it.
Wow.
And
it's Paul's friend, though. I don't know what to say.
and he never responded.
It's Paul's buddy? Really?
Paul's friend, yeah.
Paul loves him? Is Paul one of his champions?
Yes. I think Paul and him are like secretly like lovers. But I tweeted this, and he has a habit of waiting like 3 or 4 days. Like he thinks that if he waits 3 or 4 days and responds, I won't respond back. Like I've forgotten about him. So I said here on January 19th, I guess that Tahir Dirk has seen a heroin addict, because he was saying that nicotine is so addictive, and he's repeatedly said that it's as addictive as heroin, and that attacks on nicotine will break the cycle of addiction. And I said to him, I said, well, actually, this was a typo. It should have said hasn't. But I said, I guess that Tahir Turk hasn't seen a heroin addict turning tricks to make cash for their next fix. I know he has stated that nicotine is addictive as heroin. In his world, addicted smokers will be on every street corner making Australia that $17 billion fix it's addicted to. So then he waits like 2 days. Then he responds, how does liberty work for you given your need for a fix every 2 hours? Like first I was like, dude, there's actually there's 2 replies to this. This is actually the first reply. I don't know why it didn't put them in order. Your understanding of nicotine and those of us that use it is one team. I work in the health field and go 12 hours a day during my shift where I go without my fix. Those of us that use nicotine without smoke, read your heroin comparison and have to shake our heads at your PhD. So yeah, this is the type of lies and misinformation that we have to deal with on social media. This is a guy
that's followed by 170 people.
Well, he has fucking PhD though. He's a fucking PhD.
Yeah.
So when these PhDs, these people with credentials, academic credentials behind their name, they get up there and say stuff because there are a college professor with tenure and credentials, their bullshit lie automatically is weighted.
Yep. Throw something that simple out and boom. Now it's gospel.
This guy can get on here and spout lies every day, 10 times a day. And fucking Marwa Glover gets banned because she says something nice about vaping.
Because she tells the truth.
And we lose our credible people because they fucking just block them.
Yep.
They change the algo so that their tweet doesn't show up on people's. I mean, you would be surprised the number of tweets I don't see from people that I follow. Because I'll go to their thing and I'll say, "Oh, I didn't see that tweet. Why didn't I see that tweet?" So yeah, it's crazy.
And it's global. It's every industry, marketing, commercials, everything.
Yeah.
We see it more because we're knee deep in it, but it's everywhere. And it's terrible.
And sadly the thing is, you know, by and large, the vast number of people that use these products and don't even know.
Yep.
And the only reason I know what I know is, but when I bought my first Sig-alike at the mall kiosk and paid $150 for it 10 years ago, I came home and it worked, but I was like, this is kind of expensive. Let me see if I can get online and find information about this on the internet. And that is the only reason I know who I know and what I know now, because I got in and found ECF and got banned in one day. And then I found other places and I found video shows. I found Phil's videos. I found Demetrius's videos. I found Nick's videos. And then I was in it.
Yep.
But now that it's at the convenience store and because there was no vape shops 10 years ago.
Right.
And there were vape shops. People don't have to go and hunt shit down anymore. It's right there. It's convenient. They don't bother. And by and large, the vast majority of vape shops don't inform their consumers about these issues.
Right. Don't treat it like it's a journey and you're with us. And, even if a customer turns you down, it's worth mentioning.
And by the way, hey, your government is trying to take this away from you.
I had that in my discussion today, is that the majority of the people that use this product responsibly, we don't see. They don't see. They see what they want to see and what's out there for them to see. And the people that rely on this product to be available is who they don't see. And that's the people, the 40 to 80-year-olds that I have walk in my door, grab their stuff, make their purchase. We have a quick conversation. They want to talk about legislative process or what's going on, and they go back home. And that's it. That's it. They're using the product. They're much happier now. They know the benefits of this technology, and they're done. They're not going to pick up the phone unless we ask them to. They're not going to, make emails or tweets, and they're not tweeting. They're not on Facebook, most of them, but they will make a phone call or write an email. And those are the people that we are wanting to take the availability away from, and that's the wrong approach. And it's true today. I mean, a lot of these people have just, I just want to grab my stuff and go. I got these old guys. I want my high octane and my filter, and I'm gone. That's it. They want that, and they're done. They're out the door.
High octane.
Yeah, the guy that actually did the video for Lindsay, one of those elderly.
The golden oldies roadshow.
Lance. He calls it high octane. It's 24 milligrams of nicotine and his coil. And he calls it his high octane. Give me a high octane in my filter. And he's out the door and done.
Mm-hmm. Hallelujah, Nick. You have 24 milligram e-liquid in your stores?
Yes. Of course I do.
Everybody should stand up and salute fucking Nick right now.
Do not limit nicotine strength for the last fucking
my
time.
Clients depend on that. I can't take that away from them.
Yeah.
It keeps him off cigarettes. He's 77 years old. You think I'm going to tell him he can't have it?
That's perfect.
He's fought in wars and everything else.
So people don't understand. So, like during this show, when I'm on this show, you see me vaping pretty often. And that's because I'm here on this show.
Idle hands.
And I have a drink. I have my vape. It's sort of an Irish thing. You smoke and you drink at the same time. But during the day, I don't do this. But by and large, I mean, I vape 12 and 18 milligram when I'm in a really bad mood because it's what I want. I don't want to have 6 milligram or 3 milligram, no throat hit, and constantly be vaping to get the nicotine that I want.
Right.
Other people that don't have, a problem constantly vaping, that's perfectly great. I'm not saying anything bad about low nicotine. What's funny is when vape shop owners or e-liquid manufacturers, I went to an event and I was like, do you have any 12? And they're like, no, the highest we make is 6. And I said, oh, well, never mind then. He said, well, you can just vape twice as much.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so that you can sell twice as much.
Ta-da! And you're going to inhale twice as much.
Yeah. So the other thing,
oil and everything else.
The other misinformed. Like, we do our best to inform you guys about stuff and to keep you aware of what's going on in the world. And we may not have covered this topic, but somebody was posting something about big tobacco and how evil nicotine salts are. And I was like, look, I responded in the thread. Nicotine salts were not on the market until Juul brought them out onto the market. And when Juul brought them out on the market, they were part of the independent vape industry. Big tobacco did not develop nicotine salts. And by and large, the vast majority of nicotine products that big tobacco makes have free-base nicotine in them. The Views does not have nicotine salt in it. It has like 56 milligram free-base nicotine in it, or 64. It's either 56 or 64. By the blue, my Von Earl. Oh, that is free-base nicotine. That's not nicotine salts. Nicotine salts in and of themselves are not evil, and it's not a tool of big tobacco.
And it's not new. It's been around since the 30s or 40s in the farming world.
We just never used it until Juul reformulated it and come out on the market with their product, and they were part of the independent vape world at that time. They were not invested by big tobacco for years after they came out from the market. So nicotine salt is not evil. I don't like it. Doesn't work for me. But it is not a tool of big... But I saw people posting that shit on fucking Facebook.
If you don't understand this, for those who are listening later on, if I smoked Marlboro Lights and Nick had a Winston or Patrick had a Pall Mall non-filter, I would take it, but it would probably hurt my throat. In the same fashion that if I gave them the Marlboro Light, they would cover the holes. I'm sure we've all passed a cigarette to somebody else, and they've all said, or you've said,
I try to cover my holes all the time.
So kiss my ass. If you like 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, you should get a chance to up to 24. So Mark said he has it as well.
I don't say up to 24. I started on 36, and I was happy at 36 for quite some time.
Right. And if you have it higher, you're probably going to help more people. So I had a conversation with a shop owner and about 3 other people, and they said, hey, what's in your rig? And I said, it's 18 milligram. I'm the guy you hate, because the 3 and the 6 were becoming popular at the time. I'm not going to give you all my money, but I like 18. That's where I am. That's where I'm at. That's where I like. So if you like 3, beautiful. If it's working, beautiful.
So the alternative to that is those nicotine packs, the boosters,
which I've never tried.
So they have 036.
Yeah.
There are manufacturers out there that make it.
I mean, Sapphire, Nick, has been around forever. The problem is, by and large, those fucking nicotine sachet pouches that I've purchased in the past to up Nick shit that I shouldn't have to.
Yep.
It adjusts, it alters the flavor of the e-liquid. And I mean, now that I'm making my own e-liquid and I see what the nicotine looks like, and I remember what the color of the nicotine was in those packets that I used to buy, I can tell you it wasn't the same quality of nicotine that I buy now.
Yeah.
So
you need to reach out to James if he's still around in the thread.
Well, I don't need it now. I just make my own fucking shit now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You don't need an additive, do you? I do sell additive for people.
Yeah, I just
need to go higher.
I am actually going to have to order some new premium nicotine from my nicotine supplier.
Nicotine's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
I'm air quoting, well, I mean, I've been told that it must be everything that I make. Nothing has, and I used. I mean, these are tobacco heavy mixes.
Yeah, we've heard about it.
Which are typically dark. Which are typically dark.
Quit showing that off, will you? I want to.
This is the cigar, and look how clean that looks, dude.
I need that.
Just give it to me.
It would be nice if we could just transport it. You know,
I need a real cigarette or cigar, not a cigarette.
I have a humidor full of cigars.
No, I need a real cigar flavor.
I have one right here.
It's right there. And
well, I'm proud of you.
It's even called The Cigar.
You know, Nick, a few weeks ago, Jennifer actually came on the show.
He was on the show when Jennifer was on the show.
That's right.
That was like the year-end special that we did.
She was not happy with him at all.
Yeah, I mean,
old and
I did call her old, and I teased her with my tobacco.
You said I have sleeping and got our address, and here we are.
I don't have your address.
You do.
I don't have Jennifer's address either.
You got my address, you jackwagon.
I don't.
I've got Jennifer's address.
I'm going to send you my address again.
Okay. I got to get a couple bubble mailers. I have 5 batches here to send out to 5 people.
You got 4.
That I promised.
Let's be clear. You have 4 to send out to 4 people.
Okay. No.
One is gone.
I have 8 mixes here.
Okay, so you got 4.
His math skills are not good tonight, are they?
So Victor wants to know where you got your disposable cigar at.
Vic, there is a company called Smoking Vapor.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I got these is not for sale in my retail store, which probably would be a good thing, but these have been around for years. And I have an invitation to spend some time with some legislators in a place where they have a humidor, and they are all cigar smokers. So I am bringing these to put out along with some Florida Smoke-Free business cards while I sit down and have a nice couple of cocktails with some of those people and do some advocating.
See, that's how you
networking.
Now I need to taste that to see how close to a real cigar it is.
Bro, it's
you should probably send me one so that I can test it out for you.
As soon as I get your address from your return label, I'll send it. That's a deal.
Oh, I guess I better go to the post office and get some bubble mailers.
You should just go get some now. I mean...
Dude, I don't even have pants on right now. Do you think I'm gonna?
But these are good, Patrick. I think you'll enjoy one. It lasts about 5 cigars, is what they say.
Oh yeah, this is the cigar right here.
And whoever's in Jacksonville, let it be known that the mayor or whoever the fuck that is that put that video.
The mayor.
He smokes cigars. He's got cigars on his Facebook page or his Twitter line. So he likes.
Go figure.
Yeah. jack off.
And he probably smokes cigars that have, chocolate notes, that has wood notes, that probably has some sort of dried fruit notes. And he's totally against flavored tobacco products.
And he needs somebody like Nick to hand him one of those.
Somebody needs to fly me to Jacksonville so that I can talk to this asshat.
Yeah.
That actually understand. I mean, I've actually worked in a
Okay,
cigar
when you want
shop,
to come?
so I know how they I know what the process of drying and what they do to the tobacco to impart those notes. Oh, Kevin left.
Where the hell did Kevin go?
I don't know.
He pulled the wrong button.
I think he went to take a dump.
No, there he is.
That's what it was.
What did you do to your microphone?
I don't know. I unplugged something.
Go to your gear and see what microphone, because I'm getting a horrendous room echo.
All right.
He's got an aircraft in his house.
It's fucking airport now. I think he's on the camera.
Are you air traffic control?
I think he's on the camera mic now.
He is. He's air traffic control.
Hang on. Is that better?
No.
So who asked about that?
Victor. Alltech.
Victor Alltech. Yep. So Victor, did you get that? SmokingVapor.com. Nothing funky. Pretty plain and simple. SmokingVapor.com.
What did you do? What did you do, Kevin?
He messed up the brand new mic and everything, man.
Brand new mic, and he's already broken.
Gonna be looking for a new sponsor next week. Another mic.
If anybody wants to be the Kevin's mic sponsor, you'll get an in shot
regard to
an in shot. We'll set up the microphone with your company logo right here on it, so that every time Kevin is on shot, you'll get an advertisement.
As long as the mic's working.
Well,
the camera's not working. Is this his first show?
No.
What's going on with Kevin, man?
I think he forgot his brain medicine. Now Charlie McCracken wants to know the link.
Can you post the link? Sure, I'll post it right now.
Don't get me banned by posting links to products in my fucking chat room.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. I literally don't know what would get me
Charlie
kicked off.
McCracken, personal? No, King.
I don't literally know what would get us.
SmokingVapor.com.
SmokingVapor.com.
VAPOR.com.
Yeah, you can. I think that will suffice.
Yeah.
I think
it's simple enough.
Let's see. Let me add him back to the stream.
Hey.
See, it's a lot less there now. What did you do?
Welcome Kevin back.
I can't.
I mean, this is what we used to do back in the old timey days when video games didn't work. We took the cartridge out and blew in it. So unplug your microphone and go.
That's what I was doing. I was blowing on it.
Kevin, don't lick it.
Don't spit on it either. Because I'm not buying you another one unless we get another sponsor.
One button hit another button. That's all. Did you send that yet or not?
Did you cross the streams? What?
What? I said, did you send him that or not?
Not. While you were away, I did not run to the post office.
It's my second show, Nick.
Ask him that, Kevin. Ask him that tomorrow.
Dude, I'm not getting up until after the post office closes tomorrow.
What I'll do is I'll ask Jennifer if he sent it yet, and then I'll just tag you.
Oh yeah. You should definitely tag Jennifer and say, "Hey, we're talking about you on the show again." And cigars. This is Kevin's grandson, Z-Liquid. It's not for Kevin's grandson. It's just,
how many do you?
Huh? What?
What's that flavor?
No, this is coffee and Dominican cigar.
I said, what's that flavor?
I told you, coffee and Dominican cigar.
Yeah, so you need to send that too to make the shipping worthwhile.
Well, no, I told you I have 8 bottles here for you to beta test. Okay. I will be sending you. I will be sending you an NDA to sign before you can accept the receipt of the liquids.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I'm not running through with the spectrometer. I'll just call you up. No spectrometer. I'll just be saying, hey, Patrick, come on. Give me the stuff. Rose,
well, it's not going to cost you anything, so what do you care?
I'll pay for it.
No, you're not.
Just hit him.
I will gladly pay for good e-liquid.
Gladly. Oh man, I like picking on Nick. One of these days he's gonna get so mad he's gonna grow hair.
Come on now, Kevin, you're man.
Do what?
Kevin, you just put the voodoo. You just put the woo on the whole damn show. I'm freezing over here. You're freezing. You're
Nick,
going off stage. You're the.
Nick sounded all roboto for a second there.
It beats you. Oh yeah, that. See, you guys were talking
about 10 minutes
about misinformation. Is that big enough, or should I rub it?
Rub it.
Rub it bigger. All right. The gentleman Clovis. I assume it's a gentleman. Him and I were having discussions about that the other day.
We actually know Clovis.
I think we do.
No, I know we do. I know we do.
Oh, crap. That's way too big. But anyway, decades of peer-reviewed evidence. Nicotine increases focus, attention, memory, and reduces anxiety. The idiots. Nicotine vaping causes mental fog, memory loss, and anxiety. Evidence. Coffee drinking is associated with drowsiness. Idiots. Obviously, coffee causes drowsiness. So he puts the picture of the girl there sleeping on the desk. And I said, are we witnessing the beginning of a full-on public health movement for a narrative change or addition to nicotine is what the point was. And he said, I rest my case. So that's an example of what these people are doing live as we speak. So Nick can take his cigars and he can go to a meeting where he's networking. I don't even call that advocating. That's networking. And respectfully, I say that. I look at things like that and I go, imagine that. Well, Nick can see my timeline and he can say, wait a minute, when did they start this? Well, they started it 4 fucking months ago. So that's how I see it. But that's the narrative. They like the narrative. They want to change the narrative. They want to keep it the way they like it. And you can't do shit, so. And Mark does it. Mark's got a business where he's in Gretchen land. He's paying attention. Everybody's paying attention in one form or another. So yeah, Gretchen, she's my girl. So narrative. No, if you guys walk in and say, well, yeah, it does cause drowsiness and you don't know any better, what are you doing? What?
You said Gretchen was your girl, and I'm telling you that Caitlyn Jenner is not a girl.
Gretchen.
And yes, before anybody jumps on me, Gretchen Whitner or Caitlyn Jenner is a girl because we gotta respect everybody's pronouns.
There's boobs or something now, I think. I don't know.
So, we have to respect the pronouns. So they identify as a she. So we're supposed to call her a she. I don't want to start that fight.
But
I'll get deplatformed.
If we have a bake sale in Michigan, we're going to invite her. I know that. Or it. She likes cookies.
Kevin's trying to keep the train on the rails, and you're going crazy over there. He's talking about bake sales. You're talking about pronouns.
I don't want to alienate anyone. You know, Victor
don't make me go all Karen on you.
Victor could be one of those people that likes to wear dresses. And
one of those persons.
What did I say? People. People is nondescript. So, you know, Victor could be one of those people, or Will Webb or Mark Sliss or any of those people could self-identify as an attack helicopter. You never know.
Hey, Kevin, don't invite Mark to your bake sale.
Mark will definitely want to be there in his Sunday dress. I mean,
if Mark brings the dog, the dog should be fine, unless she bites. Unless she bites what's her face, then she might get raised. I don't know if she's safe to bite or not.
I don't want to become the target of social justice warriors that are upset about people's pronouns.
That's what I say, Will. How do you dare assume it's a person? It could be a bot. So there you go.
Well, but if I were to suddenly, you know, say anti-bot things, then you would be upset because you are a bot.
You're probably right.
So
you know, you're a bot or not, man. You're
careful. So I know that Nick is already asking to punch the clock because he said that he wanted to be asleep in a little bit. Look at his eyes; they're heavy. Lullaby.
He's been looking at his mailbox for a week. Yes, his eyes hurt.
So Nick, what is it that you want people to take away from our show tonight?
Oh, it's real simple. I think we've said it over and over. Get out, meet with people, legislators, anybody, and share the product you use and why you use it, how long you've been using it. Smoking sections are a great place at restaurants when you got to go visit those again.
There's a smoking section in restaurants?
Outside.
Oh, yeah.
Adult facilities where you find smokers, some bars, pool halls, wherever. Just share what the product you're using, the benefits of it, and what you've experienced, as well as the political side. Make sure you're, you know, we've got to empower people and feel confident enough to go out and speak about it. We used to do that a lot in the old days, but I think we got away from it. Cultivation of the industry is very important, and our armies need to grow, because as time goes on, the fights will be bigger, and we always have to fight that little battle at the gate, man. And if we don't, we'll continue to see states dropping off one by one, and it'll be a slow death. We're seeing it already. This isn't anything new to anybody. They're just chopping our limbs off, man, and it's terrible. So we got to gain back our ground and do the right thing. Just sitting idle is not going to work, because the lies will keep coming out. They're getting more and more powerful. They're starting to, you know, fund things on national television, primetime TV. You guys are seeing it, and if you're not, it'll be there soon. Next thing you know, you'll have some legislation come down, and your shops will be done. You heard the numbers earlier that Patrick was discussing that we've lost nationwide, and I'm sure a lot of that is in states where they've instituted bad laws on misinformation, and we can't continue that. If we do, we're done. And it's not about, I don't think anybody on this thread or anybody in the chat is it's not going to hurt you because you know somebody that can get you the product you need. It's the 40+ million people that don't know about this product that we're hurting. So please, if every one of us go out and help one person make the switch, it's a big move. We continue to do it in the stores. You guys need to do it in your everyday life. Everybody has a story, whether they've smoked or vaped or any of that, has a story of the negative effects of combustible tobacco and cancer-related illness. You've heard about it. We've been touched by it. And the truth is that this product doesn't cause any of that, and it can actually stop it and be a benefit to public health. So very simply put, you got to share it. You've got to get out and talk about it. Sit back and not share it is not a good thing, and it'll be done. And nobody, those 40 million plus will never hear about it. They'll just hear about the negative effects of it, which are all lies.
Kevin.
Yes, sir.
What you got?
The link I just put in there is what Nick talked about earlier, and just a few minutes ago I joked about him being somewhere to talk to people, whether you're networking or advocating. If you're a business, we can do the same thing, just depends on how you do it. The link I put in there is from our, if James is still in the room, he'll probably know who this guy is, Mika something or other on Twitter. I've invited myself to meet with him and Ohio State, or the other Ohio State, whatever the hell the college is, because
Ohio State.
There's Ohio State and there's Ohio something. Are they both Ohio State? They're
the one you were talking about is Ohio State University.
Constantly in 2014 and 15, vaping's bad. I'm 40 miles away. I didn't know James. I said, hey, I'll come up. I'll bring the coffee, and on Twitter, and phone numbers never got responded from, but it's Burke Berman, whatever his name is.
Micah L. Berman.
Micah or Mika.
Micah.
It's an incremental legislative approach starting at the local level. They want to ban cigarettes. They want to ban this. They want to ban vaping too. This is an end game for them, and that's a really good long ass read. I don't know if Patrick, you actually read it or not, but
you sent me the link. I read it.
The content within it tells you their game, and I don't know why my camera fucked up. I'll leave it alone for now. The end game is for them to control your choices, whether you smoke or not. Nick also mentioned that we were smokers once. If you go sitting at the smoking section, wherever that may be in the area you're in, remember how it was when you were a smoker and how you were stigmatized and pushed off to the side. Well, they're doing the same thing with vaping, and that's fine. But if you're not going to talk to smokers and explain it if they ask, or if they don't ask in some cases, like Nick and I both probably approach people, and more than Patrick does. It's better to have them know than as soon as they say popcorn lung, that's sad. As soon as they say nicotine, it's throat hit. You have to educate them at half the energy level you are, because you're happy you stopped. That doesn't mean you have to convince them to stop. They have to know better. Then they can stop saying things like popcorn lung and other stupid shit that don't exist, or exist at such a low level it doesn't matter. So pay attention to the research that Patrick and I find every week, Dr. Varsalinos, etc. And I hate these words, but be better at what we're doing. And I hope that's what we'll continue to do. Patrick.
What are you doing?
Playing with my camera.
It's already clear. Don't touch it.
Clear back up. Did it? All right. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Glasses are dirty.
Don't touch it.
I'll shut up.
So I want to reiterate how thankful we are that Vapors Depot and VOM have stepped up and sponsored Smoke-Free Radio for the year. For a lot of people, what we asked for is a lot of money. It really, all that did was pay off the podcast fees and the hosting, so that we don't have to worry about our recordings being deleted. It costs a certain amount of money to store. I think we have 416 shows that are still there from years ago that you can go back and listen to. People don't just put that on the internet for free, and they don't host it on their servers for free. I mean, really, we could do the Facebook show and the Twitter show and the YouTube show, and that's all for free. But our library of past recordings, the podcasts, to me, that is the most valuable thing, is we can go back and pull the recordings from all of our shows before we went on video, because obviously the videos are on YouTube, the videos are on Facebook, the videos are on Twitter. And unless we get deplatformed, they'll stay there. But, you know, the podcast is convenient. People can listen on their phone, in their car. That is the most valuable thing to me. And that's the one part of the show that I was not willing to trim. And, you know, thanks, Nick, for allowing that to continue. Plus, I got to create a whole new fancy banner that I'm very happy about. I'm going to throw it back up there because I think it looks cool. It looks way better than what we had up there before was also mine. I designed it and it looked fine, but this is cool. It's snappy. And I want everybody to you know, think that we actually, well, to know that we actually put time into what we're doing. And we want it to look sharp. We want it to look good. We want to attract those people that we want to come on the show. And the only way to do that is to make our shows look better. And, you know, using the new platform that we've been using for the last few months, we use a thing called StreamYard. It costs $25 a month to use this. I've been paying that out of pocket for an entire year because I just think it makes the show look better. And when the show looks good, we get great guests. We get Dr. Glover. Well, Dr. Glover came on before, but we get Chauncey Gardner. We get Henage Mitchell. We get Mr. Chowdhury from India. We get Kelly Ann with Vape World. We get all these great people. We get Senator Holly Hughes from Australia to agree to come on and talk to a bunch of vape dudes about vaping and about nicotine. We get Dr. Mark Tyndall, who is, I mean, he did a TED Talk. He did TED Health. These are people. We get Dr. Eliana. I can't even she's got 3 names. Rubashkin Goldberstein. We get all these amazing people because the show looks good, and we can't do that for free. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Vapors Depot. Thank you, VOM. Thank you, the lovely and wonderful Miss Orlando.
Yes. And everybody listening.
So, yeah, we're going to keep doing this shit for another year. So, Kevin, your wife is going to be mad that your Fridays are not hers.
Yep.
We get another year of Logan when he's there running around and enjoying himself in the background. And we get another year of talking to people like Mark Sliss and Will Webb and Yolanda and Victor and, you know, all of you people, Tom and Paul and Charlie, all you people make what we do doable. You know, it makes us enjoy it. Your conversation, your participation, your suggestions all make this possible. And if it wasn't for you, we would do the show. It would just be us in a Zoom room and it wouldn't be anywhere and it would be okay. But you guys make it better. So thank you. We're just starting because the people that we've got lined up are amazing people. And, you know, as much as I like to have vape bros, and Nick is not in that category, but, you know, we've had some just dudes come in and hang out with us on the show. The quality of people that we're getting, I'm fishing outside of our pond for guests.
Are you going to tease me and tell me that that's who I asked you about?
I don't even know what you're. I don't even know what you're talking about.
The other senator.
I don't even know what you're. I don't even know what you're talking about.
You know I don't fucking like you to begin with, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it can't possibly be Bernie.
No, it ain't Bernie, you shithead. New York, I think.
No.
No? All right.
You got Andrew coming on?
So what?
I told you I would talk to Schuster if he would sit down and talk to me.
I thought you had nipple rings coming on. I was going to be like, whoa, here we go. Now the show got good. I'll double the ante.
He's not a senator. He would not survive. His brother talked to, the other Cuomo, Andrew, or whatever the fucking douchebag's name is. He talked to Greg like he was a piece of shit when he was on his show. He would, because he can do that when it's his show and he has control.
Yeah.
He would never agree to come on to my show.
He wouldn't.
No, they think they have a lot of power. And
my God,
reelected.
I'm talking about the CNN brother. I'm talking about the other Cuomo. That motherfucker. I texted Greg the day of that interview and I said, be careful. That motherfucker is a mean interviewer. And he said, I know. He said, don't worry. I know. I said he is a fucking asshat. And like, I would have a guest on the show that I didn't agree with, and I wouldn't talk to him in the way that he got talked to. That was very, very rude.
Well, somebody he's empowered because of his brother, right?
Well, yeah. He wouldn't be on CNN if he wasn't the brother of the fucking governor of New York.
And CNN wouldn't want him unless he was the brother of the governor of New York.
Right.
So, yeah.
Believe it or not, if we actually had Adams on here, I would be a lot more sociable than anybody actually.
Well, yeah. If Jerome actually would come on, obviously we are going to talk about the problematic stuff, but we're not going to talk to him like he's a piece of shit. But that's what Cuomo did to Greg on his show.
Yep.
And as a professional, I used to work in media years and years and years ago. We were always taught to leave our fucking opinions at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was back in the old days when news was who, what, when, where, and why, and you were not part of the story. Now, every newspaper reporter is who, what, when, where, and why, and, here's my opinion. That is not fucking news.
Yeah.
But, anyway, thank you, Nick. Thank you, VOM. Thank you, Dolores. Thanks, everybody involved, because you bought us another year, and that's all. If anybody else wants to send us money, we're not going to turn it away because Kevin, needs a green screen and he needs some more stuff. But I have a green screen that I don't even use anymore because I'm just tired of putting it up and taking it down. It's a pain in the ass. But we're going to do some more shit, and we're going to get great guests. So the next 3 shows are going to be very exciting. You already know 2 of those guests. I won't tell you the 3rd yet. But next week, Senator Holly Hughes from Australia. She was the chairperson of the Senate Select Committee on Nicotine in Australia. She's also an ex-smoker who now vapes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after that, Nick Orlando, or not Nick Orlando, he's on right now.
That's
the
Nick.
Week after that, Dr. Mark Tyndall from Quebec, or not?
You see what I
he might be from Vancouver. Anyway, he's Canadian. He's a Canadian harm reduction doctor of public health, and he is also pro vaping. So we're going to talk to him about harm reduction and why tobacco harm reduction and harm reduction need to be promoted simultaneously together as a package, and what strategies that they use in the regular old harm reduction world that we need to adopt into tobacco harm reduction. So that should be a really good talk. I think we're going to learn a lot because there's a lot of things that I don't know about. And I mean, I know a little bit about, needle exchanges, and I know a little bit about life preservers and seat belts and all those other harm reduction things. But we need to learn that we have allies if we would just talk to them.
That's all we got to do.
And recruit them. So that'll be fun. That'll be exciting. I'm excited for the next 3 shows. So it'll be great. You guys have a great night. Have a great weekend. Do all the things that you should do. Go and kiss your kids goodnight. Go and plan a wet one on your wife. Wake up, or husband. Wake up in the morning. Enjoy your weekend. Well, yeah. Or whatever you identify as.
Your partner.
Wake up. The weekend is yours. Football, barbecue,
football,
video games. I don't even want to talk to you about football.
Fire the cannons. Fire the cannons.
Fucker. Have a good one. We love you, and we'll see you in 7 days. Monday morning is just around the corner, and all the shit is going to hit the fan, and we need to be active. We need to be engaging, and we need to start conversating. Emails, Zoom meetings, whatever it is that you can do to talk to these people. Be respectful. Doesn't matter if there's a hearing tomorrow or not. You should be talking to your politicians now.
Find a common ground.
Peace. Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Nick.
I hope they will have the decency to clear my name with the same publicity with which they now have besmirched it.
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
Never forget the elephant in the room. It's actually such a big elephant that I don't think people can even breathe in that room. It's such a huge elephant. It's the number one preventable cause of death in Australia. So when you are taking a precautionary approach, when you're like, no, we just don't know enough, I just tell them, shut up, because that just I don't know is killing people right now.
There's a tremendous push to bring about prohibition, to actually prohibit vaping. Whereas the evidence strongly suggests that actually, up to now, the most successful way of people stopping smoking cigarettes is vaping.
When vaping increases, smoking decreases.
That's right.
When vaping is restricted, smoking increases.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science. What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that?
I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.